Good morning, everybody. It is now time. We are calling today's episode to order. Welcome to another edition of Kiwanis Connects, coming to you live from multiple points around the great old country, US of A, coast to coast. I am in Virginia Beach live right now. It's high noon here, but for Doc Val, who happens to be in my time zone, I understand right now, which is very rare. Actually, except for John, even with Jim from Little Iguana, we're all in the same time zone today. Good morning, guys and gals. How are you?
All right. Aloha. I'm actually in Cleveland, Ohio right now. And so, yes, I'm in your time zone, mentally, physically not. I'm still on California time, but I am so glad. So, how are you doing, James?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How's everybody else? I mean, busy year. It's already the end of 2026. It's amazing.
Scary.
Before we get on with all of our pleasantries, first of all, I don't want anybody out there to adjust their sets thinking that they're watching a re-air with Jim from 2 or 3 weeks ago. But we've invited Jim back because he paid his internet bill this time, and he's in his office. No, if you watched the episode a couple of weeks ago, we had some intermittent issues with internet. James was on a location. And so it was really an unfair position to be able to get a good fix of what's happening with Little Iguana in the program. So, and the Be Kind Club and all that stuff. So we've extended another invite to have. Now, this does not make the 5th visit for you since we're redoing the 4th. You don't get a jersey yet. You got to come another time.
I was looking for my jersey.
No, we got to have a separate invite. But without further ado, let me just say, remind everybody you've got 3 channels on Facebook to watch us on, and of course 3 channels on YouTube. And of course, if you missed the episode, or more importantly, want to go back and catch the information a second or third or fourth time, you can go back to those same 3 pages on Facebook: the Kiwanis Connects show page, WWDB-TV page, and WVBV-TV. Same 3 channels on the YouTube side as well. Catch it, share it with all your friends and family, and let them know what good stuff is going on in the world of Kiwanis. I am fresh off decon for Capital District last week. I hope you all enjoyed some of the videos and pictures and things that I shared up there on the Kiwanis Connects page. It was a great experience. And Annapolis is a beautiful city. I don't know, Val or Jim, if you've ever been to Annapolis, not just because of the Navy being there, but the history. That town, I believe, was established in 1649, if memory serves. It's just a beautiful town to be part of. We took a schooner ride on the Chesapeake Bay before all the convention stuff got started, but it was a lot of fun, a lot to do, a lot to talk about. Good morning to everybody in the chat room. John Brummer's out there. Bob Larson's out there. I know Chuggy will show up, and everybody across the board will be there. So without further ado, Doc Val, I'm going to toss it to you to let's get the ball rolling today on today's show. Oh, by the way, bad dad jokes maybe, and everything else is normal. We'll get to it. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, we'll get to it. One of the things I thought was so important about bringing James back on is it's not just about Little Iguana at this point in time, and some of the messages that were being shared, we lost in the technology world. And I think it's so important that we get this on the map by October 1, with every club around the globe actually putting a component in about the reading challenge. And so I really wanted to focus some time on that. Because as you all know, literacy is so important to me and our whole Kiwanis family, and it's the kind of thing that we need to spend a little bit more time with. So James, thanks for taking us seriously and being all logged in in this process. So as we've been talking a lot about the reading challenge. Can you share where do we want to go? Share this whole reading challenge process, because it's not just Little Iguana.
Sure. No, it's definitely not just Little Iguana. I mean, just the 2-second tour of how we got here was, as a child, I had difficulty reading. So even though I could read, I really didn't understand what I was reading. And as I got older, I realized how much not knowing or not being able to read proficiently really hurt me. And when I grew up, they used different words and everything to call you names when you were younger because you really couldn't read. So I went out and I started analyzing as I had children, and as teachers and educators were coming to me, they were saying, you know, we're trying to teach our kids, but our proficiency level's dropping. You know, it's in some places it's 0, some places it's 10% of 3rd to 4th graders. And if you can't read by 3rd to 4th grade, you have a greater, like a 70% better chance of dropping out of school, having issues. So what we decided to do was we decided to go out there and find a way to teach kids that how to read not only sooner in age, but more proficiently. So what we did was we went to every educator in the world, and they said to us, if you read to a child, they only hear the word and they see it differently in their heads. If they read the words, they see them differently in their heads, or they don't see them at all as they're reading. But if you put them reading to a child while they're reading alongside of the book, you're going to end up with a better outcome. So what we had done was we created the book series, and what we did was we put the QR code into the beginning of the book. So you could take your smartphone, or you could take your tablet, and what you do is you scan that QR code and the book starts to read to you. So now you see the word, you hear the word. And we have kids learning how to read as soon as 3.5 years old, which is amazing. And kids that were having issues trying to read, that have learning disabilities, are actually learning how to read. One of our friends, Stephanie, shared a story from the Kindness Club in Tennessee, where her son has troubles learning, and he loves this book because he can read along and he can see the words and participate. And it also has music to solidify, you know, to drive home the lessons, because it's not just reading. In the book, it talks about who's a stranger, take a buddy with you, permission, the topics that Little Iguana teaches. So it's very, very informative, not just on teaching them how to read, but how to stay alive, how to grow up safe, healthy, happy, and kind. And that's why this book is so important.
And you know, one of the things that I've discovered with a number of our guests along the way, um, your book actually will help in so many different ways with parents being able to do early intervention. And so we had a guest on a while back that talked about childhood audiology. And most people don't realize early on when a child can't hear. But when you actually have the audio track that goes with your book, that goes back to a child maybe looking and their eyes may not be tracking at the same time with the story. And that's a signal. And if you can get that child into an intervention at 3.5 because their eyes are not tracking with the sound, you've helped save a child's future. The other piece of it is also if a child can't see, and we've had the group for the blind and limited sight folks come in and talk about this. So you're really hitting on a number of different cylinders that all tie in together. And I know that we've lost poor Aaron, and he's probably running trying to figure out this whole electricity thing. But I'm so excited because what you guys have done is pulled all 6 different sensory pieces together to teach kids how to learn. And so when you do the music, is it like the alphabet? Because I've heard along the way that every single child song is the same tune as ABC songs.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of them are. I mean, it is funny that you say that, because, you know, again, music is a way to drive home everything. Like what we teach, Little Iguana teaches everything from who's a stranger, take a buddy with you, run, 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 yell and tell, everyday safety. But we do it through, and be kind and respectful, but we do it through music, which is the strongest piece, because I tell people, what did you guys learn in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th? People can't tell me anything that they've learned in those classes. But yet, if they play the music that was on the radio during the time when they were in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, they sing songs that their grandparents listened to, because the music is so strong and you don't forget music. So that's why we teach a lot of the programs through music. I mean, when a 3-year-old, the biggest success story we've had from safety wise, or not the biggest, but the youngest is a 3-year-old who was unfortunately tied up and abused sexually in their child care facility by the people that were running it. We were in the classroom 6 months before they hired this person who did this. So we went in and talked about harm alarm and who's a stranger and things that, you need to share. And this 3-year-old, after being abused and his parents sending him to school and he didn't want to go and he was fighting them and they didn't know, unfortunately, but now the kid's thinking, my parents are part of this because they're making me go to this thing. So they brought him because he couldn't physically tell them what was happening because the people said, don't do this or I'll kill you. I'll hurt your mom. I'll take, he was petrified. So they bring him to the doctors. The doctors, telling him, oh, it's growing pains. He'll get over it. On his drive home, he says, Mommy, we have to call Little Iguana. Little Iguana said he'd save me. And that shows that at a 3-year-old, Little Iguana works. But the memory of the music is so strong. We had an 8-year-old who performed Run, 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 Yell, and Tell. It's what you do if someone's trying to get you to go with them and you don't have permission. So they take this girl comes up on stage, 8 years old. She performs it on our stage show with us. She does Run, 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 Yell, and Tell. 8 years go by. She's 16 years old. She's walking down the street in Newburyport, Massachusetts. A level 3 sex offender tries to abduct her. Now, he's not taking her out for ice cream, trust me. She runs away, kicks him, runs away, goes into the store, just like we tell kids to do, screaming behind the counter. The police show up. They go, how'd you get away? She said that silly, stupid song Little Iguana taught her 8 years before that popped into her head, and she remembered everything and ran away. So now it shows that it's everlasting. So not only does it help at 3, but now it helps at 16. And we were talking about the
James, I'm going to interrupt you a minute because
Sure.
you've hit on something that's really, really important. And most people don't realize that before there was written language, before there was literacy, things were shared culturally through music. Because music is a universal language, so you've really hit on something that is absolutely huge. In knowing that a child may not remember a story that you told them, but that a sound will trigger them and to be able to move forward. And so I don't want to lose that in the process because a lot of times people think, oh, they're not paying attention. And it's like things are coming in for them. Welcome back, Aaron. And it's like we missed you. Normally it's me that's popping in
I
and
know.
out. So
It's funny. I
feel
said
good.
that while I was rebooting. I'm like, here's the irony. It's not me. It's not Val this time. It's me. So yeah, we had a little hiccup here in the studio, but I'm back and I'm glad to be back connected. You know what? It's about 1:15. Why don't we step aside for the first break, if that's all right? We'll step aside. We'll come back. We'll learn more with Jim, the reading program, and all that's available that's out there. You're watching Kiwanis Connects. We got a lot to do. Stay there. We'll be right back. Imagine being able to golf no matter the weather or time of day. Well, now you can at Back 9 Great Bridge in Chesapeake. Grab your clubs and swing by for the next level of golf. Back 9 is open 24/7. Play on your own schedule, get pro-level swing data, and much more. Try St. Andrews, then Pebble Beach to test your skills. It's also a great way to start playing golf without the distractions, pressure, or cost of playing 18 holes outside. Back 9 offers individual and corporate memberships to fit your needs. Back 9 is now open at 500 South Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Visit our website for more information. Level up your game without stepping on the course with Back 9. Hi, I'm Hall of Fame broadcaster and local TV host Aaron Phillips. Are you interested in hosting a podcast? I offer a podcast seminar where I share the information you need to set up your podcast for success. Some of the topics that I cover include basic terminology, how to do a successful interview, who to target as a potential advertiser, and more. For more information, visit thevoiceof757.com or email me directly at aaron@thevoiceof757.com.
Every day they answered the call. They served, they protected, they sacrificed. When their final journey comes, they deserve the same honor they showed others. Firefighter Memorial Transport provides dignified memorial transportation for our fallen firefighters, law enforcement officers, veterans, first responders, and their families. Because heroes should never be forgotten. Your tax-deductible donation helps keep this mission moving. Donate today. Firefighter Memorial Transport, honoring heroes, serving families, preserving their legacy.
All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. I'm Aaron here in Virginia Beach. Doc Vell
Wow,
got
that's such a
transplanted,
powerful commercial. I'm
isn't
so
it?
glad that Frank has still pursued this process. I hope that he will be our guest. Is he on tap for us?
No,
No.
unfortunately, I spoke to him. September 11th is a busy day
All
for him
right.
because he
So
sings
James,
and whatnot.
can you hear me, or is Aaron?
Can you not hear me?
I can hear everybody.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
So Aaron's going to have to call in. So it's just
Well,
like,
Jim, you can
oh
hear me?
wow. So
I can hear you.
as we're thank you. One of the things that I think is so important in this process is that, like with our kindness club that's out of Tennessee, there are so many of us from around the world that are focusing in on these pieces, and kindness is core to all of this, and as understanding also to be kind to yourself. Because when I'm looking at all the different programs that are out there, there's so much that's bombarding our kids and so many stimuli that are happening to them. And so being able to sing the songs with you and have the childhood memories, you're helping kids stay kids a really long time. And so I know that you've come up with a couple of initiatives that I think are pretty fabulous. And one of them is the reading challenge. Can you talk a little bit about that? And let's banter back and forth about how Kiwanis clubs can pick up on this reading challenge.
Sure. Well, the reading challenge was created just so that people could actually learn how to read. And we were talking about different ways that the book helps, whether they have a tough time hearing and that. But one thing I found also is that when the kids bring the books home, a lot of their parents don't know how to read proficiently, or
Mhm.
they're using it as English as a second language, which I never even realized. But all of a sudden, I'm getting orders from a community of Asian descent people that have a church. They ordered 200 books from us. I said, "Oh, you got a lot of kids?" She goes, "Oh, no, they're for the adults. They're learning how to read English." I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." But the initiative
Mhm.
that we're trying to push is for clubs to either use the reading challenge to get their way, get into the community to attract young families. It also helps if they're trying to bring on new members because, when people see things that intrigue them, that make them excited, they want to be part of your group.
Mhm.
The Kiwanians, we just did a challenge down in Tennessee with our kindness, the Kiwanis Club of Kindness down in Tennessee. They're distributing some books. We've done a few around the nation right now. We've even done some on different islands, sending out the book because it's just a great way for kids. People say, "Remember the days when my parents used to read to me?" Well, I understand that, and that's great and it's wonderful. But even that, the kids are only hearing the words, they're not hearing them and seeing them at the same time. So, this is why it's so powerful, and any Kiwanis club can get involved with it. And it's really not a hard campaign for them to do. It's to get the books into either the Head Starts, the Title Ones, the kindergartens, the first grades, and the elementary schools. Because, like I said, if you don't have kids reading by third or fourth grade, you're losing them. You're going to lose them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that's really cool is that there are micro grants available at the district level and also at the international level, where you can get up to $1,000 to kickstart one of these kind of programs. So while the price may look like it is outlandish, because most people are trying to get something for nothing or donated, um, this is worth the investment. And so as we were looking at it in our area, we'll be handing out books to kids during Halloween. And we figured, wow, what a great way to get them into the hands of the littles that show up on Halloween, and then follow up a couple weeks later with handouts, because I think you said we can print things off from the website, or what resources are available?
Yeah, well, what I had offered our fellow Kiwanians, I mean, we have an online educational portal called Safety Up, and we put literally millions of dollars into creating it. It took us, we still every day add to it. It took us 3 years to put it together, and we wanted to offer it to other fellow Kiwanians to use it in their schools, in their childcare facilities. It's got 20 different lessons. You go to the lesson, you print out whatever the printables are. I mean, there's word finds, coloring sheets, connect the dots, everything. And we have different things because some kids don't like the color. Some kids can't do crossword puzzles. Some kids don't like, so we have a little bit of everything so that it can capture somebody's interest. But it also has music for each lesson. It has a podcast. It has a story time. There's just so much stuff available. And if our Kiwanians wanted to, we told them we would love to offer this opportunity for others to use it in their communities, whether they're setting up a table. Halloween, we have Halloween lessons they can print off and hand out. They have Who's a Stranger, Take a Buddy with You, Run, 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 Yell and Tell. Any message. A lot of times what happens is something happens in the community and then everybody rushes to try to squelch that problem. What we want to do is we don't want it to get to that point. We want kids to learn it on a daily basis, and then they won't ever have to, we won't have to worry about finding a kid because he knew what to do or she knew what to do. So again, this is why it's so important for Little Iguana. Safety Up is a great tool for people to use. The reading challenge is incredible. It's not hard. If the Kiwanian members wanted to read, they could go in, get permission, go into the school, read the story to the kids. What we do up here and in Tennessee and different places, up here in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and that, is we bring the book into the school, one for every child. And then we sit there and we read to that child. So the kid can read as we're reading to them. They're reading along. And then they take it home and they could use it with their tablet or their phone, because in today's society, not like the old days, parents used to always read to all the kids. Now, parents don't have time to do that. So this is that tool, that missing parent. It helps them read along anytime. They could sit there, they could put on their headphones, which I've seen kids do. They read along with the story. It's just so, so powerful. And 32 years, don't forget, folks. 32 years we've been doing this. It's not like today we woke up and said we're a child safety advocate. We've been doing this for 32 years and we have saved thousands of lives.
Jim, for the first time viewer, let me ask you this question. You just touched on the fact that you're 30 plus years doing this. How and why did you even start this 30 odd years ago?
Well, I had my own children, Aaron. And when I was a boy back in the 70s, I grew up in Shelton, Connecticut. And I was an altar boy and I was abused by priests. And though, you go home, tell your parents back those days, you got beaten. That must have been, that's blasphemy. You don't say stuff about priests. Though I never had a safe haven in my life. I was all American in every sport. I went, I was invited to go to pro baseball, college, World Series, everything. I never had a safe haven. I never had self-worth or self-respect for myself. And that's why a lot of people took advantage of me in my lifetime, was because of not being able to read, ADD, not preying on the uneducated or whatever you wanted to call it. And when I had my children, I have 3 adult children now. And when I had my children, I said, no one's going to hurt my kids the way I was hurt. So I went and looked for a program to help me raise my kids. And I found there is no program in the world for kids, a comprehensive program in the world for children 2 to 8 like ours. We teach with music. We teach many topics. We teach everyday safety. We teach kindness. We teach respect. Because in our world today, people hate each other and they've never even met each other. And that's just the saddest thing in the world. I hate you. Why? You're white, you're black, you're green, you're orange, you're fat, you're tall, you're short, you're stumpy, you're a girl, you're a boy, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. People just hate themselves so freaking much that they got to hate somebody else to make themselves feel better. And I don't want that anymore. I want children to grow up happy. I want children to grow up safe. I want children to grow up where they know that they belong, that they're loved, that they're respected. And that is what Little Iguana has been standing for forever. When we go in to do shows and programs and TV, and, we ended up, not being welcomed onto PBS many, many years ago when we were trying to do shows. John Silber from Boston University saw us. He said, "Hey, kid, you got a great program. I'll make you TV." It saved me $1.5 million. He made me 13 television shows at Boston University. And we beat out PBS for 4 Emmys that year. And it was like funny, because it's karma, I guess you would call it. But we just want everybody to see the power of what Little Iguana stands for and help our children grow up to be safe, happy, healthy, and kind, because really there's not much out there in the world for them. And it's getting worse. It's getting so bad. The number one commodity in our world is trafficking. How is that possible? How is that? And the most abused, neglected, and unwanted. This is one thing I hope every Kiwanian understands and listens to. Right now in our society, the most abused, neglected, and unwanted age group is cradle to 3 years old. That means newborn to 3 years old. Nobody sees a problem with that. I mean, and your foundation in life is set by age 5. That's why my Papa, my Gigi, my Polish grandparents would say to me, "You don't hang around with little Freddie. He's a little brat. And if somebody doesn't fix him, now he's going to be a bigger brat." And what they mean is, if you don't help him by 5, where his foundation or her foundation is set in life, I mean, you have a foundation that gets set. That's why we send kids to school at 5, because we're supposed to know better by then. If you don't hit them by then, it's too late. They just grow up to be bigger, stronger 5-year-olds. And people need to understand that is why it's so important to get to the young children as soon as possible. Even 2 years old, start reading to them. Maybe they can't read, but you teaching them how to read is incredible, because when they get to that age, they'll be able to do it by themselves.
Absolutely. All right. I want to stop right there on that note, because I want to take a break early, and we're going to extend a break a little bit longer so Val has an opportunity to possibly address the volume on her end. So don't go anywhere. We're going to go right to the end of the show when we come back with all that we've got to do with Jim and Melissa Atwell's mental health moment, if time allows some bad dad jokes, because we have a guest coming up. So more to come with Kiwanis Connects, a lot more to do. Hang in there with us. When we come back, hopefully Val will be able to hear the rest of the show. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Aaron Phillips here from the Kiwanis Connect show. Hey, are you trying to recruit for new members? Do you have a huge event coming up that maybe is your biggest fundraiser of the year? But you need to do something different to let people know that it's happening. The same old gives you the same old routine and results. Well, we've got an idea for you. The Kiwanis Connect show offers the opportunity to have customized commercials created to help your club get your message out. And you know what? One of the extra wonderful points of this opportunity is we provide it as a fundraising opportunity. For every $50 donation for the commercial goes to the Rose Float Kiwanis Club. That's right. The very same rose float that we see on television every New Year's that represents Kiwanis International will now be supported by these Kiwanis Connects commercials. So if you want more information and get involved, just drop us an email at KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. That's KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. Get your 30, 60, or 90-second customized commercial today, and let's help the Rose Float Kiwanis Club continue to plant its seeds for success. Hi, I'm Hall of Fame broadcaster and local TV host Aaron Phillips. Are you interested in hosting a podcast? I offer a podcast seminar where I share the information you need to set up your podcast for success. Some of the topics that I cover include basic terminology, how to do a successful interview, who to target as a potential advertiser, and more. For more information, visit thevoiceof757.com or email me directly at aaron@thevoiceof757.com. Let my voice speak to you.
Every day they answered the call. They served, they protected, they sacrificed. When their final journey comes, they deserve the same honor they showed others. Firefighter Memorial Transport provides dignified memorial transportation for our fallen firefighters, law enforcement officers, veterans, first responders, and their families. Because heroes should never be forgotten. Your tax-deductible donation helps keep this mission moving. Donate today. Firefighter Memorial Transport. Honoring heroes, serving families, preserving their legacy.
Imagine being able to golf no matter the weather or time of day. Well, now you can at Back 9 Great Bridge in Chesapeake. Grab your clubs and swing by for the next level of golf. Back 9 is open 24/7, play on your own schedule, get pro-level swing data, and much more. Try St. Andrews, then Pebble Beach to test your skills. It's also a great way to start playing golf without the distractions, pressure, or cost of playing 18 holes outside. Back 9 offers individual and corporate memberships to fit your needs. Back 9 is now open at 500 South Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Visit our website for more information. Level up your game without stepping on the course with Back 9.
Good morning, my name is Alejandro Hogan, and this year I'm the president of the Kiwanis Club for Literacy in Salinas. We're a small club, but what we do is we believe in literacy, and what better way to promote literacy than to come to different schools.
We go to schools where there are 4 first grade classrooms. That way we are able to distribute us as members to go in each classroom and give that 30 minutes of enthusiasm for the students to read and become engaged on that book.
Our goal is that they get a book once a month and they take it home. It doesn't stay at school, so that by the end of the year, they have their own home library.
We need more people to believe in what we do, and we want you to join the Kiwanis Literacy Club of Salinas.
All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. See, I caught you. I caught you looking. I got you. See, Val is laughing, so I know she can hear us now, so that's a good thing. All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. Hopefully for the rest of the show, we got all the bugs ironed out and fixed and gotten rid of, except for little iguanas. We do not want to get rid of little iguanas. Keep them around your house. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. I knew Chuggy would show up eventually. She's been out there a while. Rex just showed up. Rex, how's the Achilles doing? Let us know how you're feeling. John, do we have any flyers that need to go up for Kiwanis Connects? I don't know. I know I sent you some for tomorrow, but I'm not sure if we do it. There we go. Oh, hey, if you're within the sound of my voice here locally, I have a 2-day podcast seminar coming up September 27th and 28th right over here at Zyder's American Dream Theater. That is 2 nights, 3 to 6 p.m. If you're interested, the registration information is there. Or if you're outside of the local area, but you want to do a Zoom call and be trained to do what Val and I do, or at least pretend to know what we do, then I'd love the opportunity. I can train you via Zoom and we can do all that as well. So reach me, email me at aaron@thevoiceof757.com. All right, let's get back to it. So Val, I'll toss it to you. Oh, sir, ceremony of remembrance. Thank you, John. Here in the Chesapeake, Hampton Roads area on the 10th of September, which is the Thursday, 6:30 p.m. at Chesapeake State Park is the annual observance and honoring of the fallen for September 11th. So that is 6:30 p.m. This is courtesy of the Chesapeake Kiwanis Club. So come on down, 6:30 p.m. This is on September 10th. We're doing it the day early because of all the events taking place on Friday the 11th at Chesapeake City Park. So come on down and check it out. All right, now, Val, it's all yours.
So much going on in the Kiwanis world right now. It's absolutely amazing. And so, I am so thankful that Little Iguana, that James, you're here. And one of the things that we're dealing with right now is I just met a bunch of kids from Visalia that were in the Little League World Series.
Oh, cool.
And and it was amazing because I was sitting right next to one of the kids and he actually had a Little Iguana patch on his backpack. And it just made me smile. And so knowing that you do reach children all over the place, and doing a shout out to the little Visalia Mini Oaks that next year they will be in the World Series again by invitation because they made it to the semifinal round. Um, but we're impacting kids of all ages, and we don't know that we're impacting them. And so I think you have a little secret, and you're trying to get us into some minor league baseball fields. How can we help you
Yeah,
make that?
we're working.
Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
Well, last year, 4 years ago, we started this. It's called Kindness, okay, and we hooked up with Vic and the people from Tennessee, and we turned it into a Kindness Day. We did an event down at their park in Nashville with the AAA Milwaukee Brewers, Nashville Sounds. We do it every year up here with the AA Toronto Blue Jays, Fisher Cats, and we asked permission to host what we call a family kindness day, where you bring your families to the park, old, young, everybody. It's just having fun, having respect for each other. It's everybody saying hi, hello. It's really just a great environment. We hand out what we call our wristbands. They say it's easy to be kind on it because it is easy to be kind. We just make it hard to be miserable. So we want people to respect each other. Basically, the theme is to treat others the way you would like to be treated. And even the Kiwanis clubs all over the United States, we tell them all the time, they can use the kindness program for free. They just need to go on and download the information and share the song in their community if they wanted to do that as well. But there's just so much possibility for every Kiwanis club, to use it. If they deal with kids 2 to 8, if they don't deal with 2 to kid, if they're not in that age group, I understand that's okay. But 2 to 8s end up growing into 14, 15, 16-year-olds. And, if you give them that head start, teach them to be respectful, kind, and safe, you're going to win. You can't lose.
So when is this normal World Kindness Day so that we can actually put it in our schedules? Because we're ending this year, I think we missed it.
We did it August 9th was this year. We hosted it from Fisher Cat Stadium. We do it in August because that is Little Iguana's anniversary. It's the anniversary month of Little Iguana. It was when we started. We started on August 5th, many, many, many years ago, 1994. And ever since then, we haven't looked back, and we just continue to do it. So what we're working with is minor league baseball to bring it to have us be able to do this kindness program in every single park. And that is just our goal is to bring it to every single minor league park, every community. We're hoping that other Kiwanians would like to take part in it and host it for us, with us in their community.
I'm going to throw out a challenge right now. So John Cofford out in San Diego, let's make this happen with the minor league for the Padres. Kathy Tran, let's make sure something happens in the San Francisco area. And Jim Janisic out in Ohio, let's make sure we get something going in Ohio. If Kiwanis clubs work with their minor league baseball teams, which are very, very friendly to Kiwanians, we can make this happen. Rex Ramsey, I know you're on here and you've been doing stuff with the Dodgers, and our literacy club's been doing stuff with the Dodgers. If every single Kiwanis club joined in on this partnership in August 2027, we could have the biggest presence for kindness around the world. And that's for Kiwaniverse. That's how we make this happen. So,
Sure.
James, if you could please post something on our sites about how we can make that contact, and we'll say we're working with you as one of our partners. We'll just create this partnership till someone tells us we can't.
Sure.
I think that's how you make it happen, right?
Yeah, you make it happen, and then they can't say no because it's already put in place.
It's already happening.
But there is, minor league baseball has 120 ballparks. And last year they told us that we could do it in all 120 major minor league baseball parks. we just have to coordinate it, and it doesn't have to be in August. But like I said, I'd like it to be in August just because of the anniversary of it. But
Let's
that
make it
being
happen.
said,
Yeah. Let's make
but
it
that
happen.
being said, if it needs to be another month or a different time, we could do that. But I'll tell you, if you go to baseball nowadays, you have Bark in the Park, you have all the different organizations that do stuff. There is just not a family kindness day, and this is what we want to bring. When I was a little boy, my grandfather, my Gigi, would bring me to Shea Stadium to watch the Mets play, and I fell in love watching Tom Seaver pitch and Jerry Grody catch and all the other people out there in the world that played baseball, and I wanted to be that. But I always remember that as such a family time because we didn't do much as a family like that, but going sitting next to my grandfather watching a baseball game or just having a good old time at Shea Stadium. You get off of the subway, the train, and you walk right down the stairs and you're there. And now, of course, it's Citi Field. And I went down, my son Jim, who lives in Burbank, California. He's a worldwide DJ. He's one of those electronic DJs, so he plays for like 70,000 people at a time, He flew out and he brought me to Citi Field. And I just, cried because, we looked over the right field the stands, and near Shea Stadium, level to the ground, but it's there, and it looks so much smaller than what it did when I was a little boy. But that was my family going, and I'm trying to build something instead of the hate and the regret and the anger and the everything. Just build something that is fun. And do remember, when these kids grow to 30 years old, I remember when mom and dad and grandpa and grandma and all of us went to the baseball stadium together and we sang, because that's part of the Kindness Day. We send them music so that families can sing along. We send them a big screen, video to play up on the screen so that they can sing the song. It's easy to be kind. I just hope we get back to those days. That's all I'm trying to do. Call me selfish.
So Jim, I got to ask you a question that's unrelated to this for 1 second. So being a Mets fan, I'm sure you remember this. Who were the three broadcasters that broadcasted the Mets games on TV?
I think, was Vince Scully one of them in the beginning, or no?
He might have been at the beginning, but I'm talking about in those mid-70s, 80s, the heyday of the Mets.
I don't remember all of them. I just remember, the different.
Are you ready? Are you ready to be taken back? You ready for the names?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ralph Kiner.
Yes, Ralph Kiner. Yes.
Bob Murphy.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Who, by the way, Bob Murphy's brother was who the Padres Stadium, Murphy Stadium, was named after, because Bob Murphy's brother was big in the San Diego area. And the guy who had crazy jackets before this guy wears crazy jackets, Lindsey Nelson.
Lindsey, yes.
Wow.
Oh, my God, yes. It's
I
tough.
grew up watching those same Mets with my grandfather before I learned who the Yankees were.
True. Well, hey, if it wasn't for
Anyway.
the Yankees, baseball wouldn't exist in society. As we know, baseball, Yankees paid for everybody so that they had a team to play.
Exactly.
And
Carla,
this is
Carla's out
the
there.
platform. Yeah, this is the
Yep.
platform where you can truly say this is one of those universals from Japan to Poland all the way through. Baseball is one of those sports. And even Carla's online. I know you can actually see her comment. So do you want to share?
Yeah, Carla, who, by the way, will be our guest on this show next week, as she is the chairperson for the membership for membership here in the Capital District. We could also have an opportunity with collegiate summer ball. Here we have the CPL, the Coastal Plain League, the Peninsula Pilots. So there is baseball here in the Hampton Roads area galore.
And every NC2A team has a service component that all of the students that are student athletes have to be a part of. And it's part of the coaching process. So let's just get this on their agenda. I feel like, we're done talking. It's all about doing at this point in time. Our kids deserve it now. So thank you, James, so much. I know that this is like fourth time's the charm. You still need to earn your jersey. Um, so
All right. We're going to do you have your guest ready there, Doc Val?
I do not, but I think that we can go on to a mental health moment if you're
You
ready
got
for
it.
it.
All right, Jim, you're welcome to stay on, or if you need to run away, that's strictly up to you. But
Thanks.
with that, we're going to step aside for Melissa Atwell's mental health moment of the week. Take it away, Melissa.
Hi, I'm Melissa Atwell, founder and CEO of the Mental Health Moment. And a moment I want to share with you today is actually a grounding technique. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1. And we are going to use our senses. So starting with 5, we are going to identify 5 things we can see. Going to number 4, we're going to go to the sense of touch. 4 things that you can touch. Number 3, you're going to go to the sense of hearing. 3 things that you can hear. Number 2, 2 things you can smell. Number 1, 1 thing you can taste. And I share this because for me, when I am in a moment of stress and anxiety, I do this technique. And one of the main things I will touch is my hair or my clothes, my jeans, so that I can ground myself and bring myself back to the present. So then I can know how to move forward. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
All right, welcome back. Thank you, Melissa, as always. I think that's one of the longest tips she's ever given us in the 2 years she's doing this. So that's a good thing. All right, with that, we're going to transition now to Doc Val's wow moments. Yes?
Sounds
All right,
awesome.
let's hit it, John. Doc Val's wow moments. Take it.
I do my happy dancing, so I guess it's part of the music. And I hear it, I get all pumped up and everything. But one of the things I don't want to be remiss on right now is one of my absolute favorite idol type people that I always said if I got a chance to sit down with her for lunch, I probably wouldn't stop talking. And that is Dolly Parton and the passing of Dolly Parton. And it really fits in really well with this because Dolly honored her father by starting the Imagination Library so that everybody would be able to read. And I was talking to a lady on the airplane as I was flying out to Ohio yesterday, and we had that conversation about once you learn to read, you get that bit of imagination that no one can ever take from you. So even in the darkest time, that you can actually grab a book and escape. And so with Little Iguana, you feed into that. You are a Dolly inspiration and Dolly legacy with what she has been doing for the past 35 years. Um, and so, Aaron, I don't normally do a really short one, but for me, it's those people that leave a legacy for the rest of us that we can continue their legacies. And that's one of the reasons why James will continue to be earning his jersey and then he'll get patches and all that kind of fun stuff is the legacy that these types of programs, Little Iguana, Muzi, and other programs are safe Kiwanis clubs, are literacy clubs, and now we have brand new clubs that are health and wellness. And Monday is International Wellness Awareness Day, and so we started a brand new Kiwanis club on Wednesday night of health and wellness. And we had over 30 people in the room getting ready to start this club. We officially started with 20. We need to focus in on what matters, not be all over the board anymore. Our kids deserve our attention on what's important to them. And starting with their health and wellness, starting with their literacy, starting with the education. I think that's where we need to be laser focused. So that's my wow. That's my everything. So,
Yeah, well said. At the Kiwanis International Convention in Pittsburgh last year, the Imagination Library was there in representation. Dolly's organization, and the closest brush with fame with her that I had was taking a picture with her cutout that was there at the convention. So everybody will leave their legacy in different ways, and reading is probably the simplest way that people can leave a legacy as well. And passing of Dolly, but her legacy of reading and the importance of it carried on through things like what Jim does is certainly a way that we can honor those around us, give everybody else the tools for literacy, and be not as complacent. I think what KI needs to do, maybe our different districts, we ought to come up with a Little Iguana banner patch for those who participate in these functions, and we can send them patches to put on their Kiwanis Club banners. What do you think about that, Val?
I think that that is absolutely doable. And why don't we do that in our health and wellness club? Is we will start a Little Iguana banner process, and we can make that happen.
All right, there you go. So
Between the kindness club, James, what do you think? Kindness clubs and our health and wellness.
I think it's fabulous because kindness, reading, the literacy is just so important. And, doing something like that just shows that you care that much, in helping your community. So I think it's wonderful.
Either Val is exercising her right bicep or her guest just showed up, one or the other. She's directing traffic in there. So
let's give 2 minutes to my guest as they come in.
Absolutely. So take it away.
So, come on over. Okay, so we're gonna do this. And so this is my sister friend Marcia.
Hi, Marcia.
And her husband's gonna pop in. And
okay.
And so Marcia is like, come on over. Okay. So Marcia is just off that trail. She's the current governor for the Ohio district. And so how was your convention?
Oh, it was really good. I was very blessed. I tell you, I'm really happy that we had a good one.
Okay. So what was the highlight? Because we're in our last few minutes. So what was the main highlight for your convention? Because we have all been attending a lot of the conventions lately.
Okay. I think seeing the fellowship of everybody. Everybody got to see each other from all over the state. I'm in Ohio, the great state of Ohio, and we all got to see each other for the first time in over a year, and just the fellowship, games and things like that, plus discussing, networking with each other of what each district and club were doing, division and clubs were doing, so that kind of thing.
Madam Governor, how big is your district, if I may? How many members do you have?
We have 5,300 in our district.
Nice. That's a nice size. By comparison, Capital District has about 3,700, and we're 5 states. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, 5 states.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank God I'm not running around it.
But one of the things is the Ohio district is one of the original districts, and they truly live and breathe Kiwanis. And so the reason why I'm here in Ohio is one of our past presidents, Alan Penn, really made an impact throughout the Kiwanis universe, and he passed away on August 5th. And so his celebration of life is 2 days, not one, because he deserves 2 days. And so that's what we're here for. But I wanted to also do a spotlight because Marcia will be back. And what's next when what happens with governors when they realize there's something bigger that they can bring to Kiwanis after being governor. So she's going to do a focused show with us later on.
Okay.
So I'm glad you guys popped in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look forward to it.
For having us.
Okay.
Great to meet you. For sure.
So
By the way, does she happen to have a bad dad joke we can get us started? A quick bad dad joke?
You think I would, but I don't. I'm sorry.
That's all right. No worries. No worries.
Right.
Great to meet you guys. All right. So we're ready to roll into the bad dad jokes. We'll get rocking and rolling.
Okay.
All right, Jim, you got one for us by chance that we?
I ain't got one. I apologize. I really
don't.
No
worries. No worries. All right. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen. John, hit it. All right, as we begin wrapping around the corner, we are about, a week-ish away from Labor Day, which is the unofficial end of summer. And so, of course, that means my themed bad dad jokes are the end of summer, back to school kind of theme. So here you go. Here's number one. By the way, Steve Nagel has not checked in, so I have no idea if he's ingratiated himself to this week's. He'll just have to go back and watch it. Here you go. Number one. What did the pig say on the hot summer day?
Mike.
It's not a kosher joke, I can tell you that much. But what the pig did say on a hot summer day, I'm bacon. All right, there you go. I should stop whenever I get Val laughing. What is black and white and red all over? What is black and white and red all over?
An embarrassed zebra.
No, how about a zebra with a sunburn, though? You were close, John. I'll give you a half point for that. What animal is always at a baseball game? Speaking of baseball, what animal is always at a baseball game?
A bat.
Yes, a bat. Ding, 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 ding.
I got one.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Andy liked, he put bacon in there. So I know there's a time delay, but he's said, I do this for Andy. All right, here you go. Where do sharks go on vacation? Besides Amityville, where do sharks go on vacation? They go to Finland, of course. Finland. All right. That wasn't one of the better ones.
No.
Why did the sun go to school? Sun as in S-U-N, by the way, not S-O-N. Why did the sun, S-U-N, go to school? Because he wanted to get a little brighter. I did go there. Yes, I did. What kind of tree can you fit in your hand? What kind of tree can you fit in your hand?
Palm tree.
Yes. Yes. That's 2 for Doc.
We should stop soon.
I know. I got 2 more. Then we'll stop. What does the sun, S-U-N, what does the sun drink out of? What does the sun drink out of? Sunglasses, of course. Come on now. Why didn't you realize that? I figured for sure John would jump all over that one. Wait a minute. No. I am not going to let him get away with this. No. So Victor Barone, who just sent that, who's been messaging with us, you would think he's like this foreign guy. No. Oh, nay. I've got him sitting in studio with me because he's going to start working with me on a help relation. So why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? Go for it.
Because the P is silent.
Because the P is silent. That's right. We did. Do not look what's happening in my lights, Victor. Remember what I said? I'm going to play with you. That's right. Do not encourage him, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
You can have him on more often.
Oh, really? All right. Careful what you wish for. Last joke for me, and then we'll call it a day. Why did the teacher jump in the pool? Why did the teacher jump in the pool? They wanted to test the water. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I said it. I did it. That is right. Hold on. I got to do it officially because that was so bad. That does it for this week's Bad Dad Jokes. All right. I'm done. Take it away, Val.
You know, these are the days that I'm always so thankful that we do this for Kiwanis. I have been talking to so many people that watch our show around the world, and they literally will dial in, even at the last minute, like Steve Nagel, to hear the bad dad jokes. Because, you know, laughter is one of those universals. When we can laugh at something that is outside of all those negative things that we've talked about, it's magic. And so, James, I'm so thankful that you're here and you still put up with us. And I look at you, Aaron, and I go, thank you. John, I say thank you. I think it's important to say thank you.
Well, thank you for who you are and what you represent for those around us, Doc Val. Jimmy, keep doing the good work, my friend. Give us a couple of months. We'll get you back and you can hit the 5th appearance and get that jersey. All right.
All right, guys. I'll be sending you out the 2-minute animated pilot that we just created so you guys can see the new work that we're working on. Okay?
Right on. Looking forward to it. We'll be happy to share it. All right, everybody. That does it for this week's edition of Kiwanis Connects. Couple of programming notes. As I mentioned earlier, Carla Marin, who is the Capital District Chair, Representative, Coordinator, whatever title you want to give her, of membership, came up with a great idea that she shared at the convention this past week, and I'll shed a little more light onto Carla next week when she joins us. Tomorrow, Aaron's Hour, I have a returning guest, Victoria McDougall. She was introduced to me about a year ago through Foundation Fighting Blindness. She suffers from an eye disease, retinitis what did I say before? Retinitis. Oh my goodness, I had it in my head. But anyway, it's an eye disease that fortunately she started stem cell treatments and she's actually getting her vision back. She'll talk about all that tomorrow. And then at 12:30 to 1 p.m., local cable channel 4, Cox Cable Channel 4 is another edition of the best of series of the Voice of 757. Some of the people that I've interviewed and some of the folks that make Hampton Roads what it is, that'll be airing tomorrow between 12:30 and 1. And another note about Aaron's Hour. Starting Friday, September 11th, Aaron's Hour is moving off of Saturdays to make his wife happy. On Fridays now, from 10 to 11, ahead of Kiwanis Connects, Aaron's Hour will debut on Friday, September 11th, to get on Fridays and to free up a little more time for the weekend. All right, with that, a lot going on. Be kind to everybody. Why? We're all we have. We'll see you next time right here on Kiwanis Connects. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great week. And I call this show adjourned.